Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 12 of season 18, the Circuit of the Americas, the US Grand Prix in Division 2. My name is VNT Felix One, and I'll be taking you through tonight's action for this sprint race. We already had a very good sprint yesterday in Division 3, so hopefully Division 2 delivers just as well. We are just waiting for Phantom. He'll be here in a minute or so, 2, 3, whatever. He's on his way, and then we can get going. 14 cars on this grid. We've got quite a few drivers actually who've missed this race. Viral is going to be only doing the sprint race, and then Sully's not racing, Oweison's not racing, Edwin isn't racing, Flavor's not racing, Aussie isn't racing, out of the main drivers we have. And then Yusuf has taken Aussie's seat in the Sauber, with a new driver joining the league as well. DBK has taken the Red Bull seat, so he's making his debut today, starting from last place on the grid. I can have a... There we go. There is the grid for this reverse championship race. It's Yusuf starting on pole, followed by Maxi, Akusin, Viral, Bazooka in 5th. Then Pubdog with Pix behind him, Bobodini on 8th. Pinky starts in 10th, Phantom goes into 9th. Kuko in 11th, and then Gabri 12th, followed by championship leader Sean in P13, with DBK in 14th, since he has not raced before. The reverse championship grid doesn't apply to him, and he starts from last on the grid. And yeah, Phantom is loading in now. There we go. He's already online, so he should be in a second, and then we can get going for this the sprint race. 14 laps around the Circuit of the Americas, and then another 28 right after that with the main Grand Prix. A total of 37 points on offer if you were to win both races tonight, which would be very impressive. So far in our sprint races, I don't think that's happened. I can't remember who won the Division 1 Monza sprint. Maybe someone could fact check that. I can fact check that actually myself. That's rather easy. All I have to do is go through the standings and check. And no, I don't think 34 points for Card and Monza, so no, he didn't win both, he only won the main race. Yeah, Antonio won the sprint and Card won the main race, so yeah, so far no one has managed to win both races. Of course, in Division 2, the Monza race was won by... Wait, did Cheeseburger win both, actually? Yeah, Cheeseburger did win both. I've been talking complete nonsense. So not just has someone done it before, it's happened in this division, at the Monza Sprint in Division 2. Cheeseburger, of course, no longer a main driver in the league. He has had to drop out, unfortunately. But that means all the more chances for everybody else. And I told the guys to ready up before I actually changed Phantom's grid position. I'm glad I remembered. There we go, Phantom goes into 9th. I almost messed it up royally. Of course, with this grid that we have, I'm not sure if I think it unreadies them if I go to edit it, so I'm not going to open it up again. But of course, Yusuf on pole, always want to look out for if you're on pole position. Maxi's in 2nd place, and I think that's he's had a very, very tough season so far for himself, so he's definitely one to look out for as well. He definitely has the pace to win this sprint race, starting from the front row. Viral up in 4th, of course. One of the main contenders in Division 3, so him starting so far up as well gives him a good shot. I think, yeah, both McLarens really in a great spot for that sprint race, and we can expect that they can do something out of that race, I think. All the championship contenders, of course, near the back of the field. Sean, Gary, Kuku, 13th, 12th, 11th in that order. Which, yeah, the fact that there's a fairly small grid tonight, not like an empty grid, 14 people, is reasonable, but it certainly is easier to overtake, to win from 14th than it is from 20th, so does make it easier for them all. They have a few less cars to pass, and maybe they can get involved in the fight for the win already in the sprint. Because the sprint also decides your starting position for the main Grand Prix, so it will be doubly important to do well in the sprint. And we're looking at sunny skies here for the sprint race, and unless there is some crazy changes, I would assume this weather will stay the same all throughout. I haven't seen anyone go in the chat to cry about it yet, so yeah. Strategy, of course, fairly straightforward in the 25% race. Soft, medium, medium, soft. You don't really have much to think about. You're not allowed to do a zero stop. You have to make at least one pit stop in that 25% race, which the game tells you as well if you try and do it. Drivers, of course, taking a bit longer this time around. They have to load up setups as well, maybe make some last minute changes to it. And my controller's almost empty. So let's make sure it doesn't turn off at any point this race. Got a cable. And in terms of the strategy, we have got mostly soft. A few guys on the mediums, Viral, Phantom, Kuko, and Sean right now. Viral now on soft as well. But most of the field is indeed on the soft compound to start the race. Mercedes in the great spot as well, 5th and 6th for Bazooka and Pub Dog. They can definitely work with that. And we'll see if we get a surprise winner here. Of course, these sprints are the best opportunity to do so. You have the guys at the bottom of the championship standings at the front of the pack. And here we go for the formation lap. Now we get the confirmation of what tires people have gone for. And indeed it is Phantom, Kuko and Sean on the mediums. Everybody else going for the soft, so both Ferraris going for the Olga strategy along with Phantom. Of course, I can see why it would make sense. They can't really use the pace of the soft compound at the start. They are stuck behind people. So I see the vision there. But of course the undercut is a great opportunity to yeah, overtake a lot of cars like that. So it also definitely are arguments for starting on the softs, even if we're at the back of the field. All the ones at the front going for softs. Definitely I expected that one though. They want to consolidate their position early on and then, yeah, just to see if they can bring it to the end. So, the drivers lining up for the start. And here we go. The 5 red lights are on. We're ready for lights out. Yusuf on the left and then Maxi on the right, down towards someone. Yusuf with a great start, and in behind that is Viral pulling on the side in a 3-wide situation with himself, his teammate and Akuzin. Maxi going flying over the curb on the apex, and Viral with a great start up to 2nd place. Akuzin can't overtake Maxi at the exit of turn 1. Yusuf leads after the first corner into the S section. And in the background there's a winglet flying from someone. I've got not much idea who it is. I saw someone with that broken wing, but I think it might have been DVK because his car is not turning all too well. But he is battling with Gabri, and Gabri goes round, and it is indeed DVK. Gabri rejoins the race in 14th place then. As Rival is already putting pressure on Yusuf. He wants to make use of that good start he's had. And if you look at the position, DBK actually the biggest winner of the start. As Pix and Bazooka are swapping for P6 and P7. Side by side, coming into the corner at the end of the straight. Bazooka still there on Pix's inside, up ahead. That is Akusin and Papdog locked in the duel for 5th and 4th. Bazooka trying to go around the outside, and then that is Bobolinho and Phantom also making contact as they duel for 8th. A lot of people, of course, trying to make up places very early on. No time to waste here. The top 3 have broken away from the S of Papdog. So they've made use of those battles in behind as DBK and Kukro also locked in duel. DBK goes quite far off track, and that is Kukro, I believe, diving into the pit lane. He's got wing damage. So he's gonna have to go for Scent of the Hearts and go to the end. Calamity for Titanic. The other two still down in 13th and 12th. This hasn't come to plan for any of them. And I think Sean also has damage. Yeah, both Ferraris with damage in the first lap. Kukro opting for the pit stop. Sean staying out. Gabri stuck behind Sean, even on the soft compound tire. Hasn't really been able to use him to get through the field so far. And this is great news for the guys in the front. Papdog is caught up the back of them. We have got a 4-way fight for the podium spots right now. Akusin chasing from a bit further behind, currently not in the S range. And there's Phantom looking at Bazooka. Maybe the switchback? Or just better traction on the outside actually. Now alongside. No slipstream from anyone up ahead. They are too far behind from that. DRS for them both. It's a equal drag race into the next corner as up ahead. Pix getting past Akusin. Bazooka and Phantom still side by side there. Phantom going around the outside, gets some better traction and gets through on Bazooka. Bobolinho looking to follow through then. Immediately sends it up the inside of Bazooka, sorry. And switches to the inside for the next corner again. They make contact. Bazooka ghosting through Bobolinho in the end. Bobolinho, not sure if he already had that damage or if he just got it, but he is missing the front left end plate. Kukro, of course, way behind the field on those fresh hearts, not trying to go to the end. Yeah, he's got a big undercut over everybody, but that's not going to be much, much of a, I don't know the word, shit, toast for the Germans. DBK in the pit lane already, on lap 2 as well. Did he pick up wing damage or is he going for an aggressive? Yeah, that's wing damage. So wing change as well for him, onto Scent of the Hearts, which will bring him to the end comfortably. But the wing change will cost him a significant amount of time as Phantom gets past Akusin, going through the air section. So far Phantom doing rather well, already up 3 places. And Akusin already out of the air range to Phantom and now under pressure from Bazooka. Bobolinho and Pinky not far behind either, and that's Gabri in the background having a little wobble. Coming onto the long straight. Hasn't been able to overtake Sean yet, despite Sean's wing damage. The top 4 are not making any moves. Bazooka gets past Akusin. Bobolinho can't follow through yet. Maybe into the next corner, but that wing damage is going to cost him. As Gabri is now locked in the battle with Sean. 2 of the championship leaders. They bang wheels. Sean is almost round, does catch it in the end. But Gabri definitely gets through then. And now Bobolinho is going for the move on Akusin. He's going to have to go around the outside through the long right-hander if he wants to complete this move, and with the wing damage, is that possible? Akusin picks up a 3-second time penalty as he goes over so slightly off the track there. And Pinky going through as well as Akusin loses the back of the car. Viral into the pits already, and so is Akusin, but Akusin goes deep and goes into the wall. Missing the corner on pit lane entry. Sean in the pits as well, not changed that front wing. Viral is in for Scent of the Hearts. Akusin, of course, in as well now. But his race has gone down the drain, I would say, with that mistake in the pit entry. Why is Gabri so far back from everyone? What the hell happened to him? Viral comes out. It's not a fresh heart, so he's gone very, very early for that pit stop. And I don't think he had wing damage. I think he just wanted an early stop. Especially if you look at where the other people with wing changes are. Sean and Kukro way off from Viral. Of course, Viral was fighting for the lead, so that's to be expected, but yeah. Surprised he pits so early. Maybe he just couldn't get past Yusuf, and that was his way of making sure he gets the undercut. Phantom closing in on Pix, but I don't think it's quite enough. It's up ahead, Papdog looking at Maxi. But also, no move happening there. Everybody's staying put where they are for this lap. 2 Red Bulls have come out fairly close with DBK just ahead of his teammate Akusin. Which, both of them also having 3 seconds for track limits already. So the question is Yusuf going to respond to the undercut? As Phantom has gotten past Pix, coming out of the long right-hander into the second to last corner, and Yusuf is going to respond to the undercut. A lap after Viral, he's in as well, and so is Maxi. Pubdog still staying out and holds the lead for the moment. With Phantom in behind him though, will he keep it into someone? For sure, but maybe late in the lap Phantom can get him. Hards for Maxi as well, both McLarens going for hards. For Yusuf it's set to mediums, which is definitely more than I expected. Bobodinho with a wing change, also set to mediums, Pinky and Gabri are in. For Pinky it's also hard compound tires. And Viral is going to come out exactly where he was before, in second place. He hasn't been able to jump Yusuf with that undercut. Sean comes out ahead of Bobodinho, ahead of Gabri, in a 9th position. And he has got wing damage either again, or he didn't fix it in the pit lane to begin with. Gabri has come out ahead of COTA though, crucially for himself. But I think it's looking very unlikely that any of the championship contenders are going to be involved in the fight for the win. So they're all going to have a tough main race as well, starting from near the back of the field. DBK now with another 3-second time penalty, up to 6 seconds. Phantom now staring at the back of Pubdog, very close in behind him. Is he going to go for a move somewhere in the last sector, or just wait for Pubdog to pull into the pit lane, which I would expect to happen this lap? Everybody else on the softs, well, most of the others on the softs have pitted by now. It's just Phantom, Pubdog, Pix and Bazooka left. With Phantom caught in the middle of them. And Pubdog, yep, does dive into the pit lane, releases Phantom into clean air. Pix follows him in. Bazooka doing another lap still. And Yusuf has gotten out of the air range to Viral. Those mediums definitely working better than the hards at this point. And I don't think there'll be much tire wear, so I think Viral made a bit of a... well, McLaren in total made a bit of a strategical error there going for the hards. But there's so many on the hards, which is certainly surprising to me. Bobodinho is going to have a big advantage over Pinky here as well in the battle for 8th. And that's Sean going quite a bit off track, coming out of the second to last corner. And here's Pubdog out the pit lane. In 5th place, there is Maxi right behind him. Pinky not able to get Bobodinho. Sorry, Bobodinho got Pinky. Bazooka and Phantom, the only ones left to do a pit stop in this race. And Maxi now staring at the back of Pinky. Pinky? I can't. What's going on with me today? Pubdog. Pubdog, Pinky. Very different people. I mean, I know there's no stuff with P, but I don't know, my brain is not doing anything today, I feel like. So Maxi, 5/10 back, 7/10 back. Probably a bit too far here. So those mediums of Pubdog definitely start to move a little bit, and he might actually rather be looking forward towards Viral rather than behind at Maxi. And the gap from Viral to Yusuf only increasing lap by lap. Yusuf making great use of that pole position he got. Of course, Phantom will keep going for longer. Question is what Bazooka does, if he's going to finally pit this lap. Yep, Bazooka finally into the pit lane. The last one of the soft runners. Now where does he come out? My guess is between Pix and Bobodinho. As Viral picks up a 3-second time penalty. And that puts his chance of a win in the sprint race to bed. Akuzin also gets a 3-second time penalty. It's up to 6 seconds now. Viral will now struggle to even hold onto a podium, I feel like. Because he's got a lot of cars right behind him. With Pubdog, Maxi and Pix all within this penalty range right now. Bazooka comes out just where I thought he would, between Pix and Bobodinho. Not that far ahead of Bobodinho, as Sean and Gabri are locked in the duel with Pinky. And Gabri, surely not! Oh, that's so risky! Oh, that could have ended in absolute disaster. Thankfully for Gabri, the contact that he made with Pinky's rear tire didn't send either of them into a spin. That really could have ended in tears for the Horseman. He backed out just in time. Sean up into 9th and then Pinky 10th, Gabri 11th. At the moment, not a single one of them is scoring a single point. Points go to the top 8 in these sprint races. As Pubdog has gotten past Viral for 3rd now. Gabri with the run on Pinky. Pix also getting past Maxi up ahead. As Gabri and Pinky are side by side. Both closing in on Sean. Might be a 3-wide situation here. Gabri goes for the middle of the track. Sean on the outside, Pinky on the inside. Gabri with a beautiful switchback on Sean. Sean trying to go for switchback himself on Pinky, so there's two cars trying to go into the same space, and there's a bit of contact. Once again a switchback by Gabriel, but he gets blocked in behind Pinky, can't go anywhere. Sean and Pinky still side by side, another switchback by Gabriel. Doesn't get the traction he needs, and Pinky holds on. So after that very nice battle through the last sector, they will stay exactly where they were before it. Currently a Sauber 1-2, and the gap 3.5 seconds from Yusuf is looking very, very good for Yusuf to win this Grand Prix and hold on to pole position for the main race. Gabriel now very close behind Pinky. He's going to get the outside line down towards turn 1. As Mourinho gets past Bazooka on the exit of turn 1, Gabriel sends it around the outside and sends it on Sean as well. They make contact though, and Gabriel gets pushed off the track, now trying to hold on through on the inside into the S section. But Sean is ever so slightly ahead, and that secures him the place for now. But there's a DRS zone coming up, which could be the chance for Gabriel to get P9. Now remember, this battling is all for grid position only. Not a single point on offer for anything they're doing here. But these guys are absolutely going at it. Bazooka is going to try and get back at Bombardino here. The ERS enabled, DRS enabled as well now. Bombardino, low on ERS, and Bazooka has got the outside line completely open. Bombardino trying to cover the middle of the track, but with the straight end-speed advantage of Bazooka's DRS and Bazooka's ERS, not a whole lot he can do there. He does get back underneath him through the braking zone, as Bazooka goes a tad deep. Bombardino is back with him. Now trying to hold it around the outside, which will turn to the inside for next corner, is the big advantage for him. Phantom now in the pit lane. Bombardino late on brakes on the inside and gets back ahead, but now Bazooka has got the inside line, has got better straight line speed as well. Heading to the flat-out triple apex right-hander, and he pulls ahead into turn 19. Mourinho has to back out, and Bazooka finally gets a position. A very nice battle that was. Phantom now swapping to a sort of soft compound tires. Question is, where does he come out? How much work is there left for him to do in this race? He comes out just ahead of Pix in 4th place. Very good spot for Phantom to be, and a Sauber 1-2 looking not unlikely at all. As he now has a big tire advantage over the cars he's racing. He will get Varel on penalty anyway, but he will surely go and overtake him, chase after Pubdog and get that 2nd place, and maybe he can even get Yusuf, who knows. Phantom definitely in a great spot here. His strategy has worked out very nicely. Phantom's got a lot of ERS as well. Varel with a bit of a mistake on exit. Pinky now with a 3-second time penalty, which will drop him to 12 come at the end of the race. Phantom overtakes Varel before the DRS is even enabled. Nothing Varel can do about that. Drops to 4th. Phantom up to 3rd. 2 seconds now the gap to Pubdog. Can he get him? Is the Sauber 1-2 possible here? Bazooka once again re-overtaking Bombardino. Bombardino once again trying to come back at him on the outside. This time goes for the switchback line. Doesn't get the traction he needs, and Bazooka holds on to P7 there. It's a great battle between these two right now. We love to see it. Sean with the tractor penalty as well. As Akazin and DBK dueling for P13 here, the two Red Bulls. And DBK swoops around the outside, a nice move that was. Pubdog has closed in quite a bit on Yusuf. The gap, 3.5 seconds, a few laps to go, now it's 1.7. But there's Phantom as well. These three are definitely converging towards the end of this race, and this could still turn into a 3-way fight for the win between the two Saubers and Pubdog. Picks himself on the back of Viral now. In terms of time penalties, it is 3 seconds each for Viral, Bombardino, Sean and Pinky, 6 for DBK, 9 for Akazin. Akazin is once again looking for a move into turn 1, but he goes very deep there, outbreaks himself. And DBK easily holds onto the place there. But Akazin will surely try and come back at him on the next DRS straight. Pubdog is now within the second of Yusuf, wasn't in second point, same for Phantom. So we have now got our 3-way battle heading into the last handful of laps here at COTA. Pix is still right with Viral. Bazooka is caught up to Maxi. As Kuko re-overtakes Pinky there, up into 11, chasing after his teammate to make sure he stays in that 3-second range and gets himself another position on the grid. But Gabri, Sean, Kuko and Pinky, who I would say, are the 4 fastest drivers on this grid. At the moment, not a single one of them scores points, and it will likely stay that way because the gap to Borodinho is 7 seconds. Akuzin re-overtaking DBK there. And Phantom now gets past Papdog, who actually lost out on DRS to Yusuf. That was a rather easy move then for Phantom. And just like that, Phantom has only got one more car separating himself from that race win here in the sprint. And what a drive it's been from him. Now the 2 Saubers are sitting in 1-2's position. Can they bring that home? Do they want to bring it home, or is Phantom going to go all out for the win and risk it? Yusuf doing a great job replacing Ossi, one has to say. Definitely on his way to getting a good chunk of points here for Sauber in this sprint race. Phantom's got a completely full ERS charge. I don't think Yusuf has a lot of chance here to hold on. Pinky with a 3-second time penalty now. And once again, Phantom with the DRS makes another easy pass. Papdog closing in as well. He's gonna get Yusuf, and I don't think, not quite. Ran out of ERS too early. And now Yusuf will get DRS for Phantom. At least I would assume so. That's Pix and Viral battling in behind. And there's also Bazooka and Maxi. Multiple battles all going on at once. Bazooka backs out against him. Kuku overtaking Sean for 10th. He's caught up to him and overtaking him. But Gabri 4 seconds away. That's still Bazooka and Maxi battling through the last sector. Borodinho just in behind. Bazooka pulls ahead. With the DRS zone coming up. That's a great chance for Maxi to re-overtake him. Another penalty to Akuzin now. DRS enabled, of course, for Maxi. Is he close enough to Bazooka? I don't think so. He's a bit too far back, but Borodinho will actually go for the move on Maxi. Up the inside into the first corner. Gets the car stopped on the apex. And pulls ahead under traction. Borodinho up to 7th now, staying with Bazooka. Those two are going to continue to battle now from here to the rest of the race, it looks like. 2.5 laps to go. Yusuf, so far, keeping up with Phantom's DRS. Although I think that's a bit of teamwork as well. That Phantom's got a full ERS charge. Yeah, you could certainly get Yusuf out of the DRS range if you wanted to. So it's a risky play by Phantom to secure the 1-2. Putting the team result over his own interest. Helping Yusuf with DRS to defend against Papdog, rather than just driving away and making sure he has to win in the back. If his soft were to drop off, Papdog and Yusuf could both become a problem for him again. But he seems confident that he can hold on to the win. And this seems to be the main battle going towards the end of this race now. Akuzin has dropped off the back of DBK. Yusuf has held on to the DRS of Papdog. Of Phantom, sorry. Picked with a 3-second time penalty. And all of a sudden that turns his battle with Viral into a very relevant one. And Bazooka actually has a great chance to finish 5th or maybe even 4th in this race if he can get within 3 seconds of both Pix and Viral. Currently he'd finished 5th. But it's very close between himself and Viral. 2 laps to go here. And Phantom doing his best to help secure the 1-2 for Sauber. Yusuf is going to defend with all his might against Papdog here for that 2nd place. To secure both 9 points for 2nd place and of course a 2nd place starting position. Right alongside his teammate Phantom for this race. And Papdog, I'm sure he's at least putting one eye on the win as well still. But even P2 would be a very good result if he can get past Yusuf. I'm sure he wouldn't mind a P3 either. These three are going to be in a great position no matter what here. Papdog using the overtake, trying to get close enough to Yusuf, but he just runs out of road at the end of the straight. And doesn't quite have the run he needs. He's got one more chance on the next lap. Or maybe here, whoa, an unorthodox place for an overtake. And they make, well, not just a bit of contact. Papdog drops quite far back now. Yusuf also losing out on the S to Phantom, but Phantom I think will let him back in. Yeah, Phantom definitely slowing down there to get Yusuf back within the 2nd. He wants to make sure his teammate holds on to P2. And with all that battling that was happening, Viral is now caught up to DRS range. He has actually gapped Pix as well. Bazooka closing in on Pix quite a bit, but I think he's losing out to Viral. So the Hearts may be coming into their own, like now right in the end. I said they might, maybe at the end, you know. And yeah, but I think it's too little too late, even if Viral didn't have a track limit penalty. Akusin actually has caught back up to DBK. So these two, once again, locked in the battle, and Akusin getting switched back by DBK there, but he gets a bit of a tank slap on the exit. And that secures P13 for Akusin. So DBK picks up a 3-second time penalty. Having a look at the battle for the win once again. Phantom just over a second clear of Yusuf. He's gonna slow down here to get in the DRS, I reckon. Yep. DRS for Yusuf, but he's very low on ERS. So is Papdog though. So I don't think it'll cost Yusuf anything. So I think the top three will remain the same. But we are still gonna have a look at this. Of course, Yusuf and Papdog both using everything they have. A time penalty now to Akzin as he's still locked in that battle with DBK. The top three all stay where they are. And these two are swapping places with the SS. They are having an almighty battle. I would love to show a bit more of it. But we are on the last lap with the leaders still quite close to each other. As Pinky now is overtaking Sean with the DRS. Heading to the last few corners then. Phantom. One hell of a drive. Starting from 9th place on the medium tire. Going along. And then coming out in 4th place and making short work with that overtakes. Giving his teammate DRS as well. Phantom gets himself a race win. And reserving for Aussie, Yusuf secures a 1-2 for Sauber here in the sprint race, with Papdog rounding out the podium. Then a Viral in 4th, followed by Bazooka in 5th, and then Pix in 6th, Maxi in 7th. Bombardino with the final point scoring position in 8th. 7/10 in the end with his penalty that he has over Gabri in 9th. Then Kuko in P10, followed by Pinky. Sean beats him on penalties though, so Sean 11th, then Pinky. Finally, DBK and Akusin still side by side here to the last sector. DBK has got 3 seconds less of penalties, so he will beat Akusin that way. And what a battle this is, still side by side into the second to last corner, and Red Bull's absolutely going at it. As Akusin loses out on the inside, DBK swooping around the outside into the last corner, and Akusin actually gets disqualified at the last corner for receiving multiple penalties. That's unbelievable. And DBK gets 13th place, coming over the line. And Phantom, your race winner here for the sprint race, gets himself a pole position as well for the main Grand Prix. A very, very good spot for himself to be in, with his teammate right alongside him. Great result for the Sauber boys. And all the championship contenders going scoreless, which is not something I expected, but they've all had quite tough races. So they're going to have to do most of the work in the second race, starting once again from near the back of the field. Essentially the only progress they've made is passing Akusin and Pinky. So yeah, Bobbodin at the fast lap race, but there's no extra points for that in the sprint race. So your grid will be this as well. Phantom, Yusuf, Papdog, then Viral is not doing the main race, so it'll be Bazooka in 4th, then Pix, Maxi, Bobbodino, Gabri, Kuko, Sean, Pinky, DPK and Akusin in P13. Right, let's quickly do the grid for the main race and then we can get into it. So, pole position for Phantom, followed by Yusuf. Then Pub Dog. Vile would go here, but he's of course left now, so Bazooka. Pix. Maxi. Bobardino in 7th. Then Gabri. Kuko. Sean. Pinky. DBK, and Akusin in 13th. There we go. I should change the race link, of course. So here we are then for the main race. Loaded onto grid. Once again, sunny skies, so I don't think we'll have any rain. I don't see a single cloud anywhere, so that's honestly impressive. I would have thought at least 1 out of 4 races in COTA has got to be wet. We've got 2 more, so I hope they're not wet, because I suck in the wet. So if Saturday is wet, I might be in the mud. So this time the strategy is going to be a bit more complicated, of course, but I'm expecting mostly one stop still, medium to hard to medium as the main options. The 2-stop is not the worst, but it's definitely slower than the 1-stop. And in Division 3 we already saw pretty much everybody 1-stopping, so well, the only exception to that, of course, there was a safety car on lap 5, I think, and everyone who pitted from mediums to hards made it. The only one who went for the 2-stop. No, there was a few people going for the 2-stop, but the main one I remember is Mihai, of course, who started on hards, so he stayed out, took the lead, since everybody else pitted. One guy went for soft, I remember that, and one guy went for another medium, but I can't remember who. So those two also had the 2-stop, and then I think it was Dylan and Bazooka. Or Edwin, actually. I've got no idea. And yeah, Mihai ending up back in P2, so a great drive that was by him to basically overcome a full pit stop on everybody. But the better strategy definitely was the, well, essentially 0 stops since they pitted under safety cars and didn't lose any time from it. And right now, it is indeed the entire field on mediums, not a single driver doing anything different. Oh, just to say that, Akusin on the hards. We've got someone doing something. And here we go, ready for the formation lap. Saubers lead the way, followed by the two Mercedes. And indeed, it is the entire top 12 on the mediums, and then Akusin in 13th, starting on the hard compound. The championship contenders, Gabriel, Kuka and Sean, all next to each other in 8th, 9th and 10th. And there we have the graphic, yeah. Expecting the one stop, mediums to hards. Lap 12 to 14, I mean, 12 is already late. 14 is definitely too late. I would say it's more like 10 to 12 as the pit window, but we did see yesterday, I mean, how early like it's possible to pit and make the end, lap 5. And of course, if we know the likes of, especially Viral, his tire wear is quite bad and he made the end, so that's shows the tire wear isn't so bad. But here we are, 45 red lights for the second time today. Phantom on the left, Yusuf on the right. And Phantom gets away pretty well. Papdog and Bazooka in behind, looking for the attack on the Saubers as Papdog jumps Yusuf into the first corner. Yusuf going back up the inside. Papdog has got the outside line and a better traction, but a bit of a wobble. And Yusuf is still alongside him on the outside into the intersection, but Papdog has the shorter line, of course, and secures P2. Great start by Papdog. In behind, Kuku and Gabri battling for 7th, and that is Pink who's gone off there, and Sean dropping down to 12th behind the two Red Bulls. Hectic start at the back of the field, but overall, mostly clean. Only Pinky who's ended up out of the train. Bobardino already making progress, goes up the inside on Bazooka. Those two battling for the entire sprint, and Bobardino this time doesn't want to waste any time behind him. Aggressive dive up the inside, and Maxi is going to try and follow through it. Bazooka actually coming back at Bobardino rather than being overtaken by Maxi. Maxi looking for the outside line as Bazooka looks for the inside. Bazooka going off the track. And he took Bobardino with him, I believe. In the end, Maxi now attacking Bobardino on the outside. Bazooka coming back at them as well. 3 wide into the final sector. Maxi with a late send on the apex of the corner. And in behind, that's Gabri and Pix battling over 8th as Pix pulls slightly ahead. Back into 8th. The top 2 getting away from the rest of the field right now. That's a 3-second time penalty already for Yusuf, only a lap into the race. DBK looking for a move on Gabri to the last corner, no orthodox spot for an overtake, that would be. And he's now got Sean on his inside, heading towards turn 1. The championship leader looking to make progress in this race. DBK braking as late as he can, but he doesn't get the exit he needs, and Sean pulls ahead, Sean up into 10th. So after the first lap, it's Phantom leading from Papdog, and then Yusuf. The biggest winner of the start is Bobardino, who's already made up 3 places. Great start he's had. And now chasing after the top 3. Kuko at the back of Bazooka. He wants to take this opportunity, make up some points. Gabri and Sean, a couple of cars behind him right now. If he can get Bazooka able to himself and Gabri as well, that would really be very, very useful for himself. So don't think Gabri can get picks this lap, so he'll have to wait even longer. Kuko closing in on Bazooka. Bazooka himself, they're going for the move on Maxi. There's a battle for the lead as well there, Phantom and Papdog. As Phantom comes on ahead, and that's Bazooka and Maxi in the background. Side by side on the exit of the corner. Maxi holds onto the position, holds on the 5th, can defend for now, but Bazooka is still there, and sneaking up the inside now. Maxi is going to try and come back at him. They bang wheels, heading into this flat out right hander. Maxi is so shallow on the inside, he actually has to lift. And that allows Bazooka to go around the outside, and Sean looking to get involved as well. Now up the inside into the second to last corner. Sean, sorry, Kuko. My brain is gone again. Wrong Ferrari. Getting past Maxi there at the second to last corner. Bobardino with the fast lap of the race, closing in on the leaders. And look how close this is. Pix practically pushing Maxi down the straight now, pulls to the inside for turn 1. Will he outbrake the McLaren? So tight on the apex, they bang wheels, they bang slide pods. So many sparks flying as Sean gets past Gabri for 9th. And Bobardino gets past Yusuf through the S section, up into 3rd now. Bobardino continues his charge, another place gain from him. Up 4 places now from where he started in P7. I think together with Kuko, he's gained the most places so far. Kuko actually, yeah, Kuko only 3. Bobadino's gained the most places out of anyone. DBK there with a 3-second time penalty for receiving multiple track limit warnings. Only 3 laps into the race, struggling with track limits already. And that was Pubdog I just saw, once again looking for the gap on Phantoms. He's definitely racy right now. Kuko can't get past Bazooka still. Sean has gotten past Pix, makes more progress in this race to Ferraris. Getting through the field nicely, but Kuko stuck behind Bazooka now. Bobadino was stuck with him earlier as well. Bazooka doing a great job of defending those places he gets at the start of the sprint race. Maxi, now with a 3-second time penalty. Sean has underfueled the car as well, which is a risky play. We'll see if he recovers enough fuel throughout the race to make that work. He is close to the back of Maxi right now. I don't think it'll be close enough now towards someone. Kuko now has got the inside out against Bazooka, and I think that could finally be the position for him. Bazooka going back around the outside, but the exit he needs isn't there, and Kuko finally gets himself that 5th place. But now the gap to the top 4, 3.5 seconds. So Phantom, Pubdog and Bobadino in a great spot here. Yusuf, that 3-second penalty, not so much. But even he would currently at least stay in 4th place. We are still... Oh, and that's another penalty. Yusuf up to 6 seconds within just 4 laps. But we have got a long ways to go. Only 4 laps into this race. So that gap that Kuko's got to the top 4 is definitely yeah, something he can overcome within the next 24 laps. Bazooka is too far back to re-overtake him, so Kuko, I think, has got the position for good. Sean trying to get past Maxi, but he's just a bit too far back there. Gabri struggling early on here. He's not really been able to put much pressure on Pix so far. As Sean, he's making the move on Maxi now. But Maxi is going to go back up the inside. Doesn't want to give up that easily. But the outside line there with much better traction, and Sean gets himself that position. And that explains why Gabri hasn't made much progress. He's missing the front left end plate. So he's picked up some damage somewhere along the way. So right now he's doing well to hold on to these people rather than having much of a chance to go forward. That's a real shame for Gabri. Another race where he has to do some damage limitation. As this title rivals Kuko and Sean make more and more progress. Sean now on the back of Bazooka as Kuko actually is losing time to Yusuf up ahead. Bazooka no longer in DRS to Kuko, which is very crucial for both Sean and Kuko. Kuko's got him out of DRS range. Sean has a great opportunity to get Bazooka now, as Bazooka doesn't have DRS down the straight. So it helps both Ferraris here. Bazooka has got a full EAS charge, but Sean has got a good charge as well. Should be enough to press overtake all the way down the straight, and that could be enough to get a position if he doesn't have way more wings than Bazooka does. Closing in, isn't enough. He's going to send it up the inside as Sean locks the front left tire. Just about gets the car stopped and remains on track, but he did push Bazooka off. And he's going to let it back through, it looks like. Maxi then looking to take advantage of Sean's sportsmanship. But not quite. Not quite there. Looks like Yusuf might lose the DRS to Bobadino here, and the top 3 get away from him. Once again, aggressive with track limits there. That is likely to have been another warning here. It did work at least for him to get himself one more lap of DRS. But it seems a matter of time that he loses contact to Phantom, Pubdog and Bobadino. They seem to have a bit of pace over him. Akazin now with another 3-second time penalty. Or his first, sorry. His first, yeah. So Bobadino putting a lot of pressure on Pubdog. Gabri and Akazin are locked in the battle, and Akazin actually is around at the first corner. Rejoins the race behind his teammate in 12th as DBK was passed by Pinky. Gabri and Pix side by side through the S's. And Pix is round. They made contact. Gabri was almost around himself, and then Pix went fully around, drops down to the last place. Gabri inherits the place to 9th, but he's now got Pinky on his back, and he's not got any any DAS to defend with. Pinky should be far enough away that he can't pass him now, but if Gabri can't get back to DAS range of the 3 cars up ahead, that will put him in trouble. Sean looking for the move from Bazooka now. He's losing a lot of time to Kuka up ahead. Needs to get past Bazooka to stay with his teammate and stay involved in the fight for the podium spots in this race. And he has gotten Bazooka, very crucial for himself. But he did still lose, yeah, he's now 2 seconds back from his teammate. He's gonna have to try and overcome over the next few laps. Maybe in the pit stop phase, with an undercut, he can get back towards Kuko. But Kuko himself is gonna surely want to undercut himself into that top 3. So both Ferraris now being quite close on track, and the same strategy puts them in a difficult spot. Only one of them can pit at a time. And Gabri, crucially, has gotten DRS off Maxi. He's actually gotten Pinky out of DRS. Pinky actually racing on control today since, I believe he has a broken ankle, he said. That's, yeah. Of course, rendered him pretty much unable to drive on a wheel. And he's had to go back to the controller he used. I think the last time Pinky, I think before he got banned for that title finale in Japan, where he gave Kuku the championship, he was still racing on controller. But then when he was back, he was on wheel. But yeah, Pinky, of course, he hasn't raced on controller in a while, and he's struggling for pace. But he's doing a very respectable job, considering he hasn't raced on controller in a good while. Of course, he's not looking amazingly fast, but he's not looking terribly slow. He's got no penalties so far. He hasn't crashed or anything. So that's yeah, a good job on an input device he's not used to. I can tell you, if I went to race on pad right now, I'd not be where Pinky is right now. I'd definitely be further back. Probably have some traction penalties, some broken front wings, and much worse lap times. Admittedly, I haven't raced on the pad. Oh my god, Phantom. Since F1 2018. Phantom getting himself a 3-second time penalty. And DBK also picking up one. And from the lead of the race, Phantom has definitely thrown himself a spanner in the works there. He's not going to have to try and get a 3-second gap to the cars behind him. And so far, there's not been even a lap where I thought he might get Papdog out of DRS range for Borneo. If anything, he looks even faster than Papdog. So, very tough spot for Phantom to be in. As Kuku has caught up to Yusuf. So, a duel for 4th out on track on as well now. And Phantom's chances of getting 2 wins in one evening definitely have just worsened a lot. Kuku already getting past Yusuf for the DRS straight, or is that Yusuf playing DRS games? Who knows? Because I think he will overtake him rather easily. Definite corner cut there by Yusuf, that was almost certainly a warning. And now the DRS. I don't think Kuku is going to be able to defend that. Yep, there is Yusuf. Flying back past him. Akazin going up the inside on Pinky. A battle for the final points paying position here in P10. And Pinky has got the inside line for next corner there after Akazin went up the inside. And that allows him to hold on, but Akazin not giving up just yet. Looking for a switchback line, but the traction is not quite there. But he's very close behind him, so coming to the next DRS zone, I would say he has a chance to overtake once again. 3-second time penalty now to Kuko. And that is going to cost him a chance of a podium, I would say. As he now gets past Yusuf into turn 1. Yusuf sending it back up the inside, though. Kuko leaves him the room. Kicks into the pit lane. The first one in this race. And he actually retires in the pit lane. As Akuzin has gotten past Pinky now to turn 1. I said he has a chance, and he used it. Getting himself into the points. In terms of penalties, he has got 3 seconds though, so at the moment he would still lose a position to Pinky. He was going to have to try and drive on a 3-second gap to him. Sean Mulder is in the grass. He's got off the track at the exit of the S section. And it's looking more and more like the battle for the win is between Papdog and Bobardino. Papdog with a big send on Phantom. Does get the car stopped, but Phantom has got the switchback on him. But no, Papdog's got the move. Another switchback by Phantom, but he might have him. Papdog with the inside line. Another switchback by Phantom, surely not. No, this time he can't pull it off, and Papdog, with a brave move from quite far back, has gotten Phantom for the lead of the Grand Prix. And that just before the pit stop phase. Neither of them pitting now, but we are definitely at a point where you could pit and make the end without having too much of a struggle. And it doesn't look like anyone wants to come into the pit lane this early. There we go, Maxi. The first one in. That will be the first of the hearts that will bring him to the end of the race. Pinky's in as well. The two of them opting for an aggressive undercut. A wing change from Maxi as well. Explains why he pits so early. Rather get the wing change now than later. And the same for Pinky. Also a wing change, so they both are gonna lose about 5 seconds in the pit lane there. And now Bobardino. Well, he has to try and get past Phantom if he wants to get Papdog for the race win. Phantom having DRS on Papdog and a lot of ERS as well will make it almost impossible for Bobardino to get him now. If anything, maybe Phantom can get back at Papdog because he's low, very, very low on ERS. Well below 10%. But Phantom is a tad too far back. Sean now making the move on Yusuf. Both Ferraris have gotten past him. Yusuf looking back up the inside, but he's way too far back to try and make that send. Ferrari's now up into 4th and 5th. Scarby still in 8th place. With that wing damage definitely affecting him quite a bit. He's not been able to make that, well, he's not even able to stick with Bazooka at this point. Garby is just going to try and do his best to get as many points out of this as he can, but it's looking almost impossible for him to beat the Ferraris. Phantom dives into the pit lane. So an early stop for Phantom and for Kuko. Both of them undercutting the rest of the front runners. Bazooka in as well now, and so is Gabri. Leaves Yusuf, Sean, Bobardino and Papdog out on track on the old mediums. DPK in as well. Accent, of course, in the hearts has to go along with all of these guys. No wing change for Gabi, he's going to keep driving with the damage. Phantom, of course, comes out. Then Kuko, then Bazooka, then Gabri, all unchanged, then DBK. And they've all got clean air. There's Maxi. And Pinky, who pitted last lap with their wing change. Maxi comes out ahead of DBK. Pinky does not. DBK there on top of the hill, already in the turn 1. Pinky only just now in the braking zone. About 2 seconds back from the Frenchman. And Papdog with Phantom pitting in between them, but they've both got absolutely no ERS, they're leaving everything out there. With Phantom pitting in between them, it's now opened up a bit of a gap, no DRS for Bobardino. And now we can see their real pace if Bobardino is able to close back up to Papdog, or if Papdog can keep building that gap. Of course, with Phantom undercutting, it's very likely he comes up and leads the Grand Prix. He's got 4.5 seconds until he gets any traffic with Akuzin. And I do think he will catch up to him before he pits. But Papdog and Bobardino will be in and will be behind Akuzin as well. And yeah, Papdog is in, and so is Bobardino. They respond to Phantom's undercut only a lap later. On lap 11. Sean is also in. And so is Yusuf. All the medium runners are into the pit lane now, and Akuzin will inherit the lead of the race. So all the front runners are going to have to negotiate their way past him. And that could be an opportunity for Phantom to get ahead and try and start building a gap of 3 seconds to Papdog and Bobardino. He will be well into the lead. Papdog only now out of the pit lane and be able to disable the pit limiter. And Phantom is 2 seconds clear. That's worked out very nicely for him. And that could be exactly what he needs. 2.5 seconds to Papdog. If he can keep building that gap. Of course, he has a 1 lap tire disadvantage, but that is not that much. if Phantom is the faster driver, a 1 lap tire disadvantage will not be the change that cost him this win. He can build that gap from here, I reckon. If he has the pace. 3 seconds for Akuzin. He will definitely catch him before he pit. I'm not sure if Papdog will, so that could be a slight disadvantage for Phantom actually. It could be an opportunity as well if Akuzin doesn't pit for Papdog and Bombardino catch him. He could maybe... yeah, it can help or hurt Phantom. Either way, it throws a spanner into the works for everyone that they have to get around Akuzin without losing time. As this will essentially be a time trial race now between Papdog and Phantom Bombardino. Of course, he will also make life difficult for Papdog, since he himself wants to go for that race win, as Yusuf and Bazooka are locked in the duel for P7 there. Gabri right behind them, lurking for an overtake opportunity. As was saying, Bombardino will try and overtake Papdog for sure. And if those two battle, that's another opportunity for for Phantom, sorry, to extend the gap, extend his lead, and get that 3-second lead that he needs. At the end of the race, right now it's at 3.1. He has actually gapped Papdog by a bit. Of course, the cold tires on the outlap making life difficult for Papdog and Bombardino. But now they should be warmed up, and now we should start seeing the real pace difference that Phantom and Papdog have got. Papdog under heavy pressure from Bombardino. Phantom now has closed up the back of Akuzin. And I think he's caught him at a rather nice time. He didn't get much dirty air in the first sector. And now we'll get DRS down the back straight, and that will be a rather easy overtake for him. With the EAS he's got, the tire advantage, the DRS, I don't think Akuzin really has much chance, or much motivation either. Yeah, he's leaving the entire track open for Phantom. He doesn't want to hold him up there, it seems. DPK with another 3-second time penalty. Akuzin knows this isn't his race. He's essentially a pit stop behind these guys, just, you know, hasn't made that pit stop yet. So he's happy to not battle Phantom too hard. Of course, he didn't slow down let him through, he just didn't try burning any EAS or anything like that. No point for either of them to go into that battle, it's just wasting time, wasting energy. So smart driving from Akuzin there, but of course for the neutral Rio it might have been more exciting if he had gone for it, so... A bit sad he actually used his brain, I can't lie. And now the gap between Papdog and Phantom has gone up again. 3.9 seconds. Phantom actually in a great spot now. And Bombardino, if he wants this race, he needs to get past Papdog sooner rather than later and start eating into that gap that Phantom has built again. Bombardino up the inside into turn 1. Papdog goes deep. And with Bombardino having a better exit as well, he's now clear into 3rd place. 2 seconds to Akuzin. Now it's a race against time. Can he get DRS of Akuzin into the next straight? I don't think so. He's just a bit too far back for that. And that will allow Papdog a chance to re-overtake Bombardino before they get to the back of Akuzin. And then if Papdog can get past him but Bombardino doesn't, that will get him well clear. And the other way around as well. Bombardino won't have DRS and he will catch him right in the last sector. Terrible timing. He will definitely lose time behind him there. And for Phantom this is going very nicely. Kuko catching up to them as well. Kuko with a 3-second time penalty, not a concern for Phantom, but it can definitely be a help for him if Kuko starts battling with Papdog and Bombardino holding him up. Here we still have Bazooka, Yusuf and Gabri all close together. With Bazooka and Yusuf having penalties, Gabri at least on for a 7th place finish right now, but surely he's going to want more of this race than that. It's just, you know, rather difficult to get that. Next car up the road is Sean with no track limit penalty and no wing damage. Stevie K gets himself another 3-second penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Now Bombardino right on the back of Akuzin. And now exactly what I thought, what I said earlier, was a scenario where it's possible. Bombardino will overtake Akuzin. Papdog won't. And Papdog will now be stuck behind Akuzin. Akuzin isn't looking for a battle, but of course he's not going to slam on the brakes now to let Papdog through before the S section, so Papdog will have to follow him around on Akuzin's terribly old tires, and Bombardino will get away from him. Akuzin also picking up a track limit penalty there. And of course, this is going to cost Papdog DRS range his rival in this race, Bobbardino. The only thing he can now try and do is use the DAS he'll get off Akazin for a slingshot to close back up to Bobbardino, but that gap has opened up significantly, and yeah, Akazin once again leaving the racing line open for him. He's not looking for a battle. Let's Papdog go. Oh well, he actually used Ortex. Maybe he was looking for a battle there, but the DAS advantage is too strong. Papdog gets well clear of him. Got the gap now up to 1.5 seconds. And now it's a race against time. Bobbardino 4 seconds back from Phantom. He needs to gain a second over the next 13 laps. So keep an eye on that gap in the top left between Phantom and Bobbardino. That is the thing that will decide this race win. The next car without a penalty after Bobbardino and Papdog is Sean. So there is no other challengers in this race. It's Bobbardino, Papdog or Phantom. Kuko now right on the back of Akuzin as well. We'll try and pass him down towards turn 1. Akuzin covering the inside of the track. And Kuko with the DS drives right by him. He's left Pinky and DBK in the battle for P11 there. With the ERS charge on DBK's car being completely empty, that's Pinky safe towards turn 1. Papdog now with a 3-second time penalty. And just like that, DBK also with a 3-second time penalty. The drivers to look out for in terms of the battle for the race win are just 2 now, Bobbardino and Phantom. Papdog's chance of a race win out of the window, and if anything, with Kuko charging from behind, he's gonna have to hope he can even secure that podium. Sean Mull as well. No penalty for him. Also still a great chance for him to finish third in this race. Ascari is still on for only 7th, and that's unlikely to change. He's not got the pace to make progress. That wing damage costing him way too much time, it seems. And the question is now, can Phantom bring that gap home? 3.8 seconds to Bobbardino. They're both going to be pushing to the absolute limit for the next 12 laps as they end this race. To see who can come out on top, who can get this race win home at COTA. Can Phantom go 2 for 2? Akuzin is now in the pit lane for his change onto a set of the mediums. And I reckon he will come out in not far behind Pinky and DBK. But I do think he will be last. A wing change as well for him. And with that pit stop, of course, as well, everybody else goes up a place. And this battle between Akuzin, Pinky and DBK will decide the final points paying position. Pinky and DBK are indeed ahead of him. Akuzin not far behind though. If he hadn't changed that wing, he'd definitely be ahead. Yusuf with a 3-second time penalty, his second one of this race, I believe that is. Third one actually, after 9 seconds now. And this battle for 6th, Bazooka, Yusuf and Gabri. The closest out on track right now. We have got Kuko chasing the back of Papdog. And of course Pinky, DBK and Akuzin to keep an eye out for as well. Akuzin with a tyre advantage to the end of the Grand Prix. I think he has a chance to get P10 at least on track, but the time penalties he's got 6 seconds, 15 for DBK. Quite likely that Pinky gets that P10 for himself. And out front, Bobbardino has got the gap down to 3.3 seconds. He seems to be faster than Phantom. Can Phantom find another gear? As Sean Mull picks up a 3-second time penalty now, and just like that, also his chance of a podium very much diminished. He now has to try and catch Kuko and Papdog on track to make it happen. There's only 2 drivers in the top 8 without track limit penalties, Gabri and Bobbardino, and I'm sure they'd absolutely love a safety car. Gabri slowing down slowing way down the straight there, weird. Akuzin and DBK both with track limit penalties there at once. Akuzin also make the move with his teammates, the two of them as they were battling, I would assume. Yeah, battling a bit too hard, going off track. But Akuzin already passed DBK and now passed Pinky as well. Great use of those mediums. And now the task is to try and build a 9-second gap to Pinky over the next 10 laps. He essentially needs 1 second a lap on Pinky to get that point. 7 seconds up the road to Maxi. Gap between Bobonio and Bobonio and Phantom, sorry, 3.3 seconds. Bobonio driving away from everybody else behind him though. So it very much is those two. Nobody else. Well, especially with the time penalties, but also on pace, it doesn't look like anybody will catch him. Gabri losing out DRS of Bazooka and Yusuf now. So that turns his race into a race against time as well. He's trying to stay within 3 seconds of Bazooka. He will definitely stay within 9 seconds of Yusuf, doesn't need to worry about that one. But P6 is in danger for him. And if he were to finish 6th while Sean and Kuko finish 4th and 5th, that wouldn't be the end of the world. You wouldn't lose out too many points, only 4 to Kuko, 2 to Sean. Of course, you'd always prefer to be ahead. But yeah, it wouldn't break his leg in terms of the championship fight. Bobodinho has now got the gap down to exactly 3 seconds. And now, for the first time, Bobodinho is in Phantom's penalty range. Arcos in with the fast lap of the Grand Prix there, gets himself a bonus point as well. Kuko with a 3-second time penalty as DBK retires from the race in the pit lane. Kuko now up to 6 seconds, and that will cost him the chance of a podium. He needs to pass Papdog and get 3 seconds of a gap on him. And there is not enough time left in this race, I think, to do that. And Sean now needs to try and find another gear to get within 3 seconds of his teammate. And get that 4th place off him. Would be crucial points for the championship. Akazin doing a good job of gapping Pinky. He already did up to 2.5 seconds. There's a chance he gets that gap he needs of 9 seconds. The question is if those mediums hold on to the end. But Pinky's hearts are quite a bit older, and that will play into Akazin's cards, of course. And Gabri definitely losing a lot of time to Yusuf and Bazooka. He will struggle to stay within 3 seconds of Bazooka. And it's looking likely he finishes this race in 7th. And Phantom will be trying absolutely everything he can to get Bobodinho back outside those 3 seconds. But I also wonder, yes, I saw a few cars underfueled. But I think at this point, yeah, they're all back within the green. So that's not a concern at all. No one will run out of fuel here. We've got 9 laps to go now. Kuko has caught up the back of Papdog. Now if he can pass him and build a 3-second lead, that would get him to the podium spot. Sean is too far back at the moment to get him on penalties. But he's not out of reach either. Now the EIS, is he close enough to Papdog to make the move? Papdog is completely empty, 0% EIS, but I think Kuko is still just a tad too far back here. And he won't be able to make the move for the podium. Has to consolidate for 4th place for now. Bobodinho has been able to close the gap more and more. It's looking very, very good for him. Unless Phantom can find some pace near the end of this race now. It's looking so good for Bobodinho to get that race win. Kuko now with another chance to get Papdog. But he's not going for it here, not using the overtake button. Wants to wait for the long straight next time around. Which is interesting, I would think he's in more of a hurry. Seeing that gap from Sean coming down. Gabri at this point over 3 seconds back from Bazooka, so P6 has been lost. We should be able to stay within 9 seconds of Yusuf at least and get P7. But with Kuko and Sean battling over 4th and 5th on tracking penalties. Yeah. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. But it is another few points lost for Gabri, and Sean's lead in the championship further extending And as he is now within 3 seconds of Kuko, extending over both his rivals as well. Coming in this race, Sean on 151 points, Gabri 137 and Kuko on 136. So 14 points from Gabri to Sean, 1 more point from Gabri to Kuko. Gabri would be at the stands third after this race in the standings, and it would be a Ferrari 1-2. As Yusuf has made the move in Bazooka finally. Gets himself up into P6 once more. This battling, of course, will help Gabri to at least try and get back into P6. Exactly what he needs. Gap between Bobadino and Phantom down to 2.2 seconds. At this point, Bobadino isn't far away from Phantom's DRS range. And I think that would be the final nail in the coffin for Phantom. Once Bobadino is in DRS range, there is no more hope of getting him outside 3 seconds, really. And Kuko still hasn't been able to make the move on Papdog happen. He's still stuck behind him, still stuck in 4th. Heading to the final stage of the race, Akuzin. His gap to Pinky now up to 7 seconds, needs only 2 more to get that point. The problem he's going to run into, he will catch up to Maxi, he needs to try and get past him. Without losing too much time to Pinky. But there's still a lot of laps to go. So it's looking good for Akuzin as well to get himself a first points paying finish here in Division 2. Kuko once again, I think he's a bit too far back from Papdog. He had to look up the inside, but that was just too far back. Had to opt out of it and let Papdog hold on to third for now still. And you can see the gap to Sean decreasing lap by lap. And Sean, of course, been loving that. Getting 2 more points out of this race. While Kuko loses 2 points. Up at the front, down to 1.9. It's Phantom now. And that's the final nail in the coffin. 6 seconds of penalties now. Hanging over Phantom's head. Bobadino still on 0. And now he's have to gain 4.2 seconds over him. As Bobadino, if anything, is only likely. I think it's more likely Bobadino wins on track than that Phantom gets even outside 3 seconds, let alone 6 seconds now. And that's really, really a shame. But Phantom only has himself to blame for that. For those track penalties. A great chance at a win thrown away. The only positive for Phantom here is that the gap to P3 is quite big. And that they all have time penalties as well, so you will easily hold on the second there. Next car without penalties is yeah, all the way down in 8th, and then another big gap with Pinky in 11th, the only other car. Only 3 cars in this race will have without penalties. Maxi with another 3-second penalty, and Kuko now finally gets to run on Papdog, finally gets into 3rd place. It's taken him quite a few laps to get past him, but now he can start trying to build that gap he needs. So he needs to gap Papdog by 3 seconds and needs to gap Sean Will by 3 seconds. Right now, despite being 3rd on track, he would finish 5th. With Papdog in 3rd and Sean in 4th, sorry. Now Sean has a chance in the podium still. He is almost within the DRS range of Papdog. He's very low in ES, he's been burning a lot of it to try and get close here. And Papdog might now be pulled along by Kuko. Which will hurt Sean's chances of another place in this race. And I doubt Kuko will play a team game here, because he himself needs Sean to lose points in the driver standings. The constructors, I would say they've got that wrapped up anyway. So Kuko has no incentive whatsoever to play a team game. But he needs to gap Papdog himself, so you can't be giving him DRS either, like Van to Yusuf earlier. Yusuf now with another track limit penalty. At this point up to 15 seconds. As Akuzin is on the back of Maxi now, but with a lot of ERS for him. And a tyre advantage. He should be able to get past him. He's got Pinky almost outside the 9 seconds he needs. So if he can get Maxi this lap, maybe next lap, it's a great chance for him to get P10. And Pinky with 8.3-second time penalty, but Akkersen gets one as well. I was going to say, that really less Pinky's chance, but just like that, the moment Pinky gets one, Akkersen gets his 12th second as well. And opens the fight for P10 up once again between himself and Pinky. But there he goes with the move on Maxi. Late on the brakes. Gets the car not quite stopped in time. Maxi with a nice switchback coming back at him. Maxi doesn't want to give this one up easily. But now with the tyre advantage on corner X and on traction, there is not a whole lot Maxi can do there. And Akkersen moves up into 9th. So now the goal is 9 seconds for Pinky. Maybe even 6 seconds to Maxi? Nah, there's only 3 laps to go. What am I talking about? No chance. 4 laps actually. Yeah, 4 laps. Bombardino is almost within the air range of Phantom now. The race for the win on track is still definitely on. Top Dog, has he gotten the DRS range of Fuku still? Be crucial for him if he did, but I don't think he has. Oh, he has got it, just about. But I think give Sean another lap or 2 and he'll be there. Bazooka seems happy to sit behind Yusuf. Yusuf has got big penalties and Bazooka knows all he has to do is bring the car home. The gap ahead is 12 seconds. He doesn't have any hope of catching back up to Sean. And the only hope for Gabri to get back into the range of Bazooka's penalty is if Yusuf and Bazooka battle hard. So for Bazooka, he has all the reason in the world to just cruise to the end right behind Yusuf. Not do anything crazy. And Maxi, he now needs to stay with Akkersen. Make sure that Akkersen doesn't get that 6-second gap to him, which, yeah, it's very unlikely. But not impossible, I would say. 2 seconds a lap. Would be one hell of a final 3 laps per Akkersen that. The tyre advantage is no longer that big, it's only 7 laps. And the mediums at 8 laps are quite worn out already. So the hards at 15. But of course the mediums wear out faster, so the longer his stint goes on, the less tyre advantage he has, and Maxi is yeah, easily able to stay with him here. So that 6-second gap he needs is not going to be coming. Anything he needs to yeah, watch out of Pinky, because I think Pinky's starting to close back in. The mediums might be showing their age now. And maybe that could cost them the points in this race. Papdog has now lost the EAS to Kuko. And Kuko is disconnected! From running 3rd place in this race. That will drop him fairly quickly behind Papdog and Sean before he gets back into the lobby. And now the battle for the podium is very much between Papdog and Sean. As Bazooka is now making the move on Yusuf. Kuko is back in the lobby. So he won't lose out too much at least to Bazooka and Yusuf, and he will be able to hold on to 5th. That's a real shame though. It's cost him this chance to beat Papdog and Sean in this race. Bombardino now within the second of Phantom. Both of them low on EAS. But, well, this battle, it's only for pride. The race win is already going Bombardino's way. As it stands, Akkersen is beating Pinky just about. He's just about. He's got Pinky at 9.1. Another time penalty now for Yusuf, up to 18 seconds. I think he will only lose the 1 place to Gabri anyway. But that's a crazy amount of time penalties. Bombardino, he's not going to pass Phantom on this lap, he's too far back and hasn't got enough EAS, but maybe in the last lap he can do something. I don't think we see any do or die moves, because, I mean, he doesn't need to. Kuku is not back in control of his car, so he'll bring the car home in 5th. But that chance of a 3rd or 4th place is lost. Sean with a lot of EAS here. Is he close enough to Papdog? I don't think so. Because Papdog himself is burning the overtake. Sean closing in though, late on the brakes, he's gonna get that stopped. Not quite, and Papdog sails back past on the inside with a switchback. Sean locking the fronts, going straight on. He's got one more chance next lap to get that podium off Papdog, otherwise the points will go his Mercedes' way. And surely Sean wants those points for the championship fight. Extend his lead over Kuku and Garvin by even more. It's Phantom and Bombardier head onto the last lap of the Grand Prix. 10 seconds the gap to Papdog behind. It is only these two. They've been in a league of their own today. A great drive by them both. But Phantom's fragment penalties have cost him. And the race win going very well deserved. Bombardier, a great drive, starting from 7th on the grid, I believe it was. Yeah, 7th on the grid it was for Bombardier. Able to avoid time penalties completely. He has got 2 warnings, but even if he gets a penalty now, it doesn't matter as Phantom has 6 seconds. So keeping it clean was the deciding factor in the end. I think Phantom is far enough ahead to hold on to it on track, but it doesn't matter whatsoever. It will be Bombardier's race win. And yeah, he's turned the EAS off. He doesn't need to go desperate here. Sean, he has a lot more incentive to try and make that move happen now. Papdog is low on EAS. Sean is closing in. Will he get it stopped this time? Goes for the outside as Papdog comes in the middle of the track. But Sean can't get the move on him. Maybe with a switchback? No, big wobble. And that is Papdog able to hold on to third unless Sean can find a way through somewhere else in this last sector. Maybe here. Nah, he's too far back. And he's round! Sean goes round! As he tries to battle Papdog, he drops it on the last sector. And that will cost him crucial points against Kuku as Phantom goes to the last corner to take the flag on track. But the win is going to Bombardino. What a drive by him as Phantom gets 2nd place in this race. Papdog bring home a podium, 2 P3s in one evening for him. Then Kuku with a spin in the last lap from his teammate Sean, getting himself a 4th place. Sean brings the car home in 5th. Bazooka with a great result up in 6th position. Then Yusuf will finish 7th on track, but with all the penalties he's got, despite being 11 seconds back, that will be Gabri's P7. Maxi got back past Akkersen on track, but he's got him anyway on penalties, so it will be Maxi in 9th, followed by Akkersen in 10th. The gap to Pinky, big enough, I think. Unless Akkersen got another penalty I didn't see. So it is Akkersen's first point in Division 2 as well, as Pinky brings the car home in 11th. DNFs from DBK and Pix. Congratulations to Bombardier, an all-British podium here, all-American grounds. And Bombardier can be very, very proud of that drive. A great way to win the race. Phantom with a great evening as well, a P1 the sprint, a P2 in the main race. 30 points in total for Phantom. Bombardier, I believe, with, well, 25 for the main race, and then 2 from the sprint. So Phantom actually comes out of this race with the most points, 30 to Bombardier's 27. Akkersen gets a bonus point as well for the fast lap of the race, so 2 points going Akkersen's way. And that was another good race here in Division 2. Gabri down in 7th. But Kuku and Shaw not with great races either in 4th and 5th. But it is a few points gained for them. Gabri scores 6, Kuku scores 12. So Kuku goes from 1 point behind to 5 points in front. Sean holds on to the lead, of course. But his gap to Kuku down to 13 now. His gap to Gabri up to 18, if my math is right. But yeah, that's been the US Grand Prix in Division 2. We've got one more sprint race this weekend on Saturday in Division 1. Excited for that one. Next week we're going to Hungary, the Hungaroring. for the last few rounds of the season. 6 races left to go now. And the three-way title fight, Kuko, Sean, Gabri heating up. But Mourinho and Phantom did close in today. I think they are the next closest chasers, together with Pinky. Pinky, of course, not scoring today at all, so that's him even further away. But yeah, Phantom was 65 points back. But Mourinho 79, so even with the points they've gained today, unlikely they make up enough points over the next 6 races. But I did want to mention at least that they are in mathematical contention, and then of course, well, mathematical contention there are a lot of people actually, but you get what I'm trying to say. That they are within like at least viewing distance of the top three. Um, yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I hope you enjoyed that race. Thank you to the drivers once again, put on a good show for us. I hope they enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, have a good evening, everyone. Goodbye. See you next week.